Guys, and welcome back to my video. So in this video now we are getting started with building a food delivery application with Firebase, Riverpod and Stripe payment gateway. Right, so without wasting much time, you need to go to console.firebase.google.com, right? And then you need to create a new project, right? So this project, I'm just going to call it a food delivery app YouTube. Right, and then make sure that you just click continue and then enable Google Analytics for this project. I'll just not tick it, but if you want you can just make sure that you enable it, but I just disabled it, right? And then it will just take a few seconds for Google to just finish like creating our project, right? Okay, now that our project is ready, the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to build. You need to go to this section build, right? And then make sure you go to authentication, right? And then on authentication, make sure that you click on get started. So just click on email and password, and then just make sure that it's enabled, and then just make sure that you save, right? And then the other thing that we are going to need is we are going to need like Firebase database, right? So Firebase database, Firestore database, just make sure that just make sure you click create database, and then just make sure that you select the location that is near you. For me it's Europe, right? So if you are anywhere across the world, just select a location that's near you. For me it's Europe. I'll just select Warsaw because I'm near Poland, right? And then just make sure that we are going to start in test mode. So test mode allows us to work with Firestore without any secure rules, right? So now our Cloud Firestore database is ready. The other thing that we need is storage, Firebase Storage, right? So Firebase Storage. So now, as of recent, Google doesn't allow you to use Firebase Storage with the basic plan, right? You have to upgrade the project to another, but if you don't have the access to upgrade it, don't worry about it. We'll just make sure that what we just need it is to store like images. So just make sure that you use another external storage, and then you just paste the link inside the Cloud Firestore database, right? So now that we are done with this, the next thing that we need to do now is to make sure that we set up our Cloud Firestore project inside our Flutter project, right? So I'm just going to pull out my screen here, and then what we need to do is you need to go to this page right here, Firebase, this page, add Firebase to your project, right? So make sure that you go to this page, you just type add Firebase to your project, and then they'll give you these commands, right? So let me just put my screen aside, and then let's start. So the first command that we need is Firebase login, right? So it's Firebase login. Just make sure that you copy it and then you paste it. So as you can see, I'm already like logged in. So if you have any problems with this, if you don't understand this, I already have a separate video on how to like set up Firebase inside like a Flutter project. And then what you need is this command to activate Flutter CLI, right? So once we are done, the other command that we need is the Flutter Fire configure. This command right here, Flutter Fire configure, right? So this is going to configure, and then let's click enter. So I think there was an error. So I think there is something. So I think it's because I had already set up this. I had already set up this project. So let me just delete my Firebase JSON there, and then let me delete this Firebase options here, right? So that's why it's giving me an error. So let me just get rid of them, and then we'll restart. Okay. So now Flutter configure. Now it's fetching the projects that I have on the Firebase console, right? So as you can see, this is the project that we want, food delivery application, that's highlighted in blue, right here. So we want to add it to Android. So for us to add it to Android, what it needs is the package name. So to get your package name, make sure you go to Android app source, and then main, and then Kotlin, and then this is the package name. Just copy it, com.example.food delivery customer application, right? Just make sure that you copy it right here, and then just make sure that you paste it. So it was I don't know why it's refusing to paste it, but let's type it. Let's just paste it. It's giving us an exception, Firebase create. So let's configure. Let's use Firebase configure again. So let's select the project, Android, and then it should be com.example. So I don't know why it's refusing to type though. Let me just copy it, and then let's paste it. Okay, so that it's now registered, but I think we have a problem with on Android. So what I'm just going to do basically is I'm just going to do it manually, right? So I'm just going to pull our browser here. Let's go to our project settings, and then project overview, project settings, and then let's add Android application, and then let's paste in the package name. We want to paste in the package name here. So let me go and copy the package name. I'm just going to copy it. This is our package name here. And then let me just paste it here, right? And then let's register the app. so I'm just going to download this Google JSON file, right? I'm just going to download it, and then I'm just going to copy it. And then what I'm just going to do is make sure that you go to Android app source, and then under source, right, as you can see, in the Android, under the app folder, if I open the app folder, so let me just open it in Finder. If you are using Windows, you can open it in Explorer, right? So as you can see, this is the app. We have the google.json here, so I'm just going to delete the previous one, and then I'm just going to paste this new one that we have here, and then I'm just going to rename it, right? So I'm just going to rename it Google services.json like this, right? Now that we have finished with this, the other thing that you need to know is on the iOS side, right? On the iOS side of things, right? On the iOS side of things, we need what we call the runner, and then on the iOS side of things, I think everything is okay here. So let's go and check. Okay, Android apps, food delivery, com.example. So let's get rid of this one, remove app, because there was an error with our package name, so it didn't work, but we managed to set it manually. With the iOS, you can see we have com.example.food delivery app. It automatically did this for us, and then the same for the web app, right? So now we have finished setting up our Firebase project. Just make sure you close this iOS file and then the Android file. Just make sure that you just close them, right? And then as you can see, we now have the Firebase.json, and then if you go into our, we now have also the main.dat, right? So inside our main.dat, that's where we are going to like make sure that we work on it to set up Firebase in the next video. So this was a video on setting up Firebase, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.